Dear students of 4th standard, let us start with the first poem from your English language. So here you see the picture which gives you the clue, that is the beauty of the nature, and usually where can you enjoy this is in the rural area or when you visit some villages. So already you have so many things which can be understood here. The beauty of the nature, the house in the mid of the nature, and the background of this beautiful scenery gives you the beautiful life that we see in the rural areas or even sometimes in the hill stations. So here the writer of the poem is A. Milne, and the headline or the heading of the poem tells you that come out with me. The poet is calling you all, come out with me. So where is he calling you? He is calling you all to enjoy the nature, see the nature and know the beauty of the nature. So the nature itself is a very fantastic or a beautiful thing which we can enjoy, and in the mid of nature we can lead a very beautiful life. So before going to the poem, we will see the difficult words and then we will discuss the paragraphs one by one. So here the words that are there in the different paragraphs. Quite completely. The plan didn't quite work out as we thought. So don't get confused with the other word, that is Q-U-I-E-T, that is keeping silent. This is completely, quite. The plan didn't quite work out as we thought, means whatever we had planned, it did not work out completely. Fully it was not successful. Still not moving. The children were still when the teacher entered the class. So this is your personal experience. So you will be enjoying before your teacher comes to the class. Once the teacher enters, all of you pretend to be very silent. You all sit still without any movement. Sailor. A person whose occupation is sailing. Sailing using the boat or the steamer. I wish I could be a sailor. I could be a sailor. Darling, beloved person. So, darling is used when a person is very close to you or beloved. My children are my darlings. My children are my darlings. They will be very beloved to the parents. So, we can call them as darlings. Now, observe the lines here. I will read each paragraph and then I will explain to you line by line. There is or there's sun on the river and sun on the hill. You can hear the sea if you stand quite still. There is or there's 8 new puppies at roundabout farm, and I saw an old sailor with only one arm. Before going to the explanation, observe the words here, hill and still. So when I read this, the pronunciation, observe the pronunciation, the sound that you get to listen at the end. Hill, still. Next one, farm, harm. So the ending sound, it rhymes. It goes together, it rhymes. So those words are called as rhyming words. Hill, still, farm, harm. So now here, there is sun on the river and sun on the hill. How come you have a sun on the river and on the hill? See, sun reflects, isn't it? The light of the sun it reflects on the water in the river. So you can see that the sun on the river, the sun on the hill. So how can you see the sun on the hill? The bright light of the sun, the bright light of the sun, that also you can observe, which is falling on the hill or on the trees or the plants or the land area, the light and the heat of the sun. That's why you can enjoy or you can feel the sun or you can see the sun on the river and also on the hill, because the light and heat of the sun, it falls on all the parts of the earth when it is a day. You can hear the sea if you stand quite still. So many of you might have gone to seashore. You enjoy there. You can play with water. You can see the rising sun, or you can also see the sunset. So it's really a beautiful place to enjoy. So there, if you go to the sea, when you go to the sea or go near the sea, if you are completely still, means if you are completely silent, if you enjoy the scene there, when you are completely silent, you can hear the sea. Hear the sea is the sound of the sea, the waves when they move, the water when it moves, that sound, you enjoy it. So that is what is called, you can hear the sea if you stand quite still. There is 8 new puppies at roundabout farm. Now here the writer or the poet is telling about a farmhouse or a farm wherein there are 8 new puppies. There are small dogs or the young ones of the dog, that is the puppies. And I saw an old sailor with only one arm. So there was also one sailor who was very old, but he had only one arm. He had only one arm. So this is how he is going on telling you the different aspects that are there in the nature. But everyone says, run along, run along, run along. All of them say, run along, I am busy as can be. Everyone says, run along. There is a little darling. If I am a little darling, why don't they run with me? So here, one thing you can observe here is, what is the usage here? Run along. Run along is one more thing is the way we lead our life. The way we lead our life. Maybe some of them are very busy in their life, or maybe some of them they go according to their way of living. So what happens, sometimes we being the part of the nature, we also should lead the life as the nature is. So here, but everyone says run along. Run along means is your day to day living. Run along, run along. All of them say, run along, I am busy as can be. Means you have to get adjusted to the life. Come with us, because we are also busy as can be, as the life has to be led. Everyone says, run along. So everyone keeps telling this. One way is even the enjoying of the nature. You have to try to get involved in the nature. That can also be taken as run along, means you have to lead life with the nature. The other one is the daily life of the human beings. So whatever, as children, what is your life? So when you had school, you have to get up early, get ready, go to the school, do all the work what is given in the school, come back home, again do your homework, or you may attend some other classes, again read, write. So all this is a part and parcel of your life. Again, the poet is also referring, there is a little darling. So the reference is, there is a little darling. So the Poet is telling the reference is little darling. But again there is a question from the part of that little darling. If I am a little darling, why don't they run with me? Why can't they be with me, or why can't they adjust with me? So is it necessary that I have to run along with them? Why can't they get adjust with me? So this is a question put forth. Now see the difficult words. Dead here means it is in the poem, not in use. The meaning of the word dead in the poem is not in use. The machine is completely dead. Water wheel, a large wheel used in the past to turn mill. Flour mills in olden days were driven by the water wheels. Water wheels were used to the making of the flour or to run the flour mills. Drowned, to die under water. So if somebody goes deep into the water and if they die, then you use the word drowned. A man drowned in the river. If you tell a man drowned in the river, it means he is dead. So he has gone deep into the water and he is dead. There is wind on the river and wind on the hill. There is a dark dead water wheel under the mill. I saw a fly which had just been drowned, and I know where a rabbit goes into the ground. So here also you have the rhyming words hill and mill, drowned and ground. So here that time in the first paragraph you came to know the presence of sun, and now here the poet is telling about the presence of the wind. The wind, there is wind on the river and wind on the hill. Even if you go to the bank of the rivers, children, you enjoy that wind. You come to know or you feel the breeze or the wind. And when you go on the hill, top of the hill, you can feel the wind, the movement of the wind. There is a dark dead water wheel under the mill. So he is telling under the mill, which was of an old age, there is a dark dead water wheel. Dead means which is not in use. I saw a fly which had just been drowned. So there was a fly which has just been drowned, means it went deep into the water. And I know where a rabbit goes into the ground. So here what has happened? The fly has gone deep into the water or it has drowned. But here he is again giving the reference of a rabbit which goes into the ground. And I know where a rabbit goes into the ground. The rabbits burrow, isn't it? They burrow. They make big, deep digging into the ground and they go into the burrows. But everyone says, run along, run along, run along. All of them say, yes, dear, and never notice me. Everyone says, run along. There is a little darling. If I am a little darling, why won't they come and see? So again, even though so much is happening in the nature, so what happens? Even then people say run along. Run along is we keep on moving with our daily work or daily course. Run along, run along. All of them say, yes dear, and never notice me. So even though people respond to me, what they do is they never notice me. They are such a busy people. Everyone says run along. So here one thing you can see, in the mid of the beauty of the nature, even though we are in the mid of the beauty of the nature, but we are always busy with our daily work or daily course of life. So they are telling run along, run along. Again they are referring, there is a little darling. So even though there is a little darling, but even then all are busy. If I am a little darling, why won't they come and see? Even though they feel that I am a little darling, why don't they come and see me? Why don't they enjoy this nature? So this is how the poet is expressing his views about the human life. So even you have the beautiful nature within which you live, and wherein you feel like being with the nature, but you don't notice the beauty of the nature. You will be busy with the daily course of your life, and even if you feel that you have to give your attention towards something, it is not so easy. That's why the poet goes on asking. So everyone is busy and they keep leading the busy life. That is what is run along, run along. So all the 4 paragraphs you go through once again. Observe the rhyming words, read the lines and keep reading the poem so that you can understand it clearly. Thank you.